Good morning. So it's officially day 3 of us in Vegas. We are so tired. We actually spent most of the night out yesterday, but today we're gonna spend most of our day just kind of walking around. So yeah, let's hang out. With my partner in crime. We're officially heading to Ocean Prime for dinner. Look at our fit. Give me a little twirl. Yes, a queen.
So cute.
And there's our men. Hey guys, we're officially home. As you can see, I have my haul behind me, and now I want to talk to you guys about this bookstore crawl and if you're in Vegas, if it's worth doing. So to start off with, the answer is yes. I feel like if you've gone to Vegas before, or if it's your first time and you're looking to do something different outside of casinos and the nightlife out in Vegas, then this is the perfect way to spend your time in Vegas. I feel like all of the bookstores that I got to visit, they weren't too far away from each other, and it gave you the perfect way of kind of seeing Vegas in a different light, getting to see the views, getting to meet the people, and also getting to kind of see what else Vegas has to offer. So I will start with, I really enjoyed the way I got around, which was using Ubers or taxis. I do enjoy talking to them about the area that they live in, things that, you know, I should consider while visiting, and places that might not be very touristy that are worth checking out. And I definitely got that from all of the different drivers that I got to meet. They were so helpful in sharing their kind of perspective on Vegas, different places I should check out, and also them being surprised that I was doing a bookstore crawl, because they were also learning of new bookstore places as they were taking me there. So that was actually super cool. So I really enjoyed that part. And when it comes to the bookstores themselves, I loved every single one I visited. They were all different. They all had different selections and books. They also had different genres that they were really highlighting that weren't the same as the other. So I found that to be quite nice. So now let's talk about which bookstore was one of my favorites. And I will be honest, XOXO Book Boutique was one of my absolute favorites, and I'll tell you why. That was because they had such a good sized dark romance section, which is not very common when it comes to independent bookstores. I feel like unless you have a dark romance dedicated bookstore, you're just not going to find as many books, because for the most part, people love to read maybe more of a romantic comedy or just general romance. And in this bookstore, they had a really nice selection of just dark romance, and it was so good because a lot of them were actually by indie writers, many of which I hadn't heard about, and the staff there was so helpful in pointing me in the direction of which ones I should check out and which ones are kind of their favorites. And that really helped drive some of my book buying while I was there. So I really loved that aspect, and that's why it was one of my favorite bookstores to go to. When it comes to aesthetics, I will say that the writer's block also came in a very strong, close second favorite of the whole trip as well, just because it was such a unique bookstore in the sense of its setup. That was kind of my opinions around the different bookstores. And now let's talk about my haul and the different books that I got to pick up. So in total, when it came to how many books did I end up bringing home with me, I brought home 25 books. Thankfully now, I am traveling, so limited luggage, of course. I was able to get many of my books shipped to me, and by the time I made it home, they were already here, which was a plus for me. So I'm super grateful that these bookstores, they were aware of the fact that they were probably going to be getting a lot of travelers coming through their bookstores, so they did offer shipping. Some, of course, was not free, but that was absolutely fine, because for me, I just needed a way to get them home, because I was going to be taking them home with me some way. So that was something that I was super appreciative of being offered while I was shopping there, because it did allow me to shop more. These are the books that I ended up getting. They were quite a few. So they did have this area that was discounted, and I got a few books from that section just because, I'm sorry, I am that girl who loves to check out the last chance, the 50% off cards, etc., etc. I love that section because, you know, I do like to save a little bit of money, especially when purchasing books. So 3 books that I got off of that one specifically. One was Fool's Assassin. I've seen this everywhere. I've seen a lot of fantasy girls kind of rave about it. So I decided to pick this one up. I'm hoping that it's good. It seems to be right up my alley when it comes to fantasy. So I'm super excited. Then I picked this one up. It's a little bit of a romance. Don't know anything about it, but I kind of judged the cover and I said, well, you're coming home with me because 1, you look interesting, and 2, you're half off. So I got that one. This one I actually have seen around. It was discounted, but One, look at this cover. Isn't that stunning? I've heard it's really good, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. And I also picked up Les Mis. And I know I already own one copy of Les Mis in a special edition, but this is actually going to be kind of my annotating one, if that makes sense. I want to be able to kind of highlight, annotate, put my thoughts into, and this one seems perfect for that because one, it has this really nice kind of size border around the writing, and also I feel like the kind of page that it is, I know I'm super picky on that particular part when it comes to annotating books, is perfect for the type of markers and highlighters that I use. So super excited to do that with this one. The next bookstore I went to was Buffy's Book Boutique, as you saw, and I did end up picking up 3 books there. Here's the first one. I'm super excited for this one. It is, let's see, it says science fiction. So, ooh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to read this one. So that was part of that one. This one, I also picked up a classic. I've been meaning to add this one to my collection as part of the ones that I will be annotating. So this is going to be that. And I also picked up this one. I've had my eye on this one in particular for a while. I just haven't bought it because I wasn't quite sure about the title. Endless Anger. I was like, oh, I don't quite like that title, but I'm going to give it a chance because the back of the book sounds really good, and I'm hoping it turns out to be a really, really good one for me. So those are the ones that I got at Buffy's Book Boutique. And now this is the other bookstore that I ended up going to. This one was the XOXO Book Boutique. This is the one where, like I said, the customer service was absolutely amazing. Lily, I hope you don't mind if I say your name, but she was absolutely amazing, and she really influenced me when it came to my purchasing. So let me grab them because there's quite a few of them, and I'll kind of speed through them because there's so many. So give me just a sec. Alrighty, so I have all of them in front of me. So let's start off with the books that I got off of their 40% off table. They were quite a few, but here they are. I'm super excited. So as you can see, a few of these are from Scarlett St. Clair. These are actually part of a series, and the reason I got these was because I actually bought book 9, believe it or not, during a Black Friday sale, and I hated that I didn't have the rest, so now I have them. And I also got this like cozy little fall romance book, and I cannot wait to do a little read of this in the fall. So yeah, those were part of the 40% off book table that they had. The rest that I got, they were all part of the dark romance section that I mentioned, and it was all recommended by Lily, and honestly, I cannot wait to dive into these. I will say that most of these are written by indie writers, so they're not kind of mainstream writers, if I'm being completely honest, which was why I picked them up, because one, I've never heard of any of the books that they've written, and also I really love supporting indie writers. So start off with the first one. This is Stolen Moments. I actually got this one in a blind date book package that they had there, so that's the first one. This one is a duet. This is by Leah Rivers, Little Stranger. So super excited, but that's a duet. Then these are an MC Romance. I do have a special little place for MC Romance, and it is a trilogy, and yeah, the cover is actually quite beautiful. So I'm super excited to read these. I also got these are a little bit on the darker side from what she was mentioning to me, but I'm super excited. One is like a vampire kind of, you know, duet, and then this one is a standalone, so super excited to check that one out. And then also I think I have another one. This one is called Heavy. Haven't read anything by this particular person either, but I'm super excited to check them all out. Lily, thank you so much for all your help when I was there. You were super helpful. And yeah, those were all the books that I got at XOXO Book Boutique. And then as you saw at the end, or towards the end, or the beginning of this vlog, I did end up stopping at Barnes & Noble, and I got this one. I think everybody's super hyped for book 2 that's coming out soon, but I got the first one because I haven't read it, so I'm super excited to check it out. And I also got this one. This one seems to be some form of like a romance slash fantasy type book, so it was so cute. I mean, look at this sprayed edges. The cover itself is quite cute, so I'm excited
to check it out. So yeah, those were the 25 books that I picked up in this book haul. I honestly had the best time in Vegas. Highly recommend it. I know Vegas isn't kind of like the bookish city that you're thinking of taking on whenever you're thinking of bookish places to go to, but now you know. So yeah, that was pretty much it for today's vlog. I honestly had such a blast out in Vegas getting to share it with you guys. And if you enjoyed it, if you would hit the like button down below, it really does help my channel. And also, if you haven't done so, why don't you subscribe so that way you don't miss any of my future bookish content here on my channel. But I hope that you guys have a good one, and I can't wait to catch you on the next one.